Dinosaur Adventure Land in Lenox, Alabama, October 16th, 2023. Tonight, Exodus chapter 9, 2,000 Egyptian gods, including a nut. I'm serious, they worshipped a nut. So do some of you evolutionists. We'll talk about that. Anyway, more excuses from Pharaoh. So tonight, we're the folks who believe God ought to get the glory for his creation. You can follow us on Rumble, on YouTube at Genesis Baptist Church, or Dr.Dino, they're up there twice, and Odyssey, and get them all on Dr.Dino.com. 855-BIG-DINO. If you want to talk to one of us here, come visit. It's all free. Come on down. We're coming to you live from Genesis Baptist Church. We hit right in the studio right now. We have cabins you can come stay in, 25 cabins. Come stay in for free for a couple days, then we put you to work. Right, Dee does a great job keeping those up. 17 lakes, 140 acres. Amazing place to come. Just come see Dinosaur Adventure Land. Take the tours. They're all free. Come visit. Did I forget to move this? Exodus 8b. Yep, we're over. Scoot that over in your mind to Exodus chapter 9. Let's see, meteor shower. It's already, we're done. Okay, here. Okay, join us. Help us stay open for free. We never charge anything. 7.5 years now. Help us, you can join our 777 club. See, I like what you're doing, Brother Hovind. I'm going to help you win souls, okay? You can go to Dr.Dino.com and help us that way. Open for free for 7.5 years now. We do this because we love the Lord and we want to serve him. And when other people love the Lord, want to help, please do, okay? Let's see, PayPal is down here now, right there, if you want to get on that way, or make any checks to CSE if you send a check. Okay, get our video series on science in the Bible, get our series on woe, what on earth is about to happen, and we have a series, if you want more detail on the creation. I did a college class on the creation seminar series and added a ton of stuff to it. Just type in CSE 101. There's 4 videos, $120 for 4 cases, $120 for the whole thing, $40 each, or $120 for all 4. If you want to get the go down deep, stay down long, and all the science on creation, science evangelism. We also have, do you have my physical science and all those classes there, brother? You're pretty quick at getting those things up. Physical science, earth science, algebra, biology, $150 for all 4. A whole lot of teaching on those for if you got homeschooling your kids or just want to get them to unlearn all the stupid brainwashing they get on evolution. That would help them a lot. Okay, let's see. Come visit us. Perfect place to bring your group, youth group, Awana, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go to slide number 528. 528, enter. Egypt had 2,000 gods and goddesses that were worshipped for millennia and ruled over natural and social phenomena. Can you imagine being a kid growing up in Egypt having to learn what all these 2,000 gods do? Mommy, what does the nut god do? Oh, honey, you better worship the nut god. Yeah, okay, they're all nuts, okay? There's the Amun, the god of the air, the god of the sun, the god of death, oh, the god of goodness, the god of war, the god of the dead, oh, best, the god of entertainment. Let's worship the god of entertainment tonight, man. 2,000. The average Egyptian person was dazzled by the huge fancy buildings, the giant pyramids, etc., and all the trained priests and the 2,000 gods' names to learn and what they did. They were fooled into thinking it was all true. After all, everybody else is worshiping them. Average person today is dazzled by the huge fancy buildings and museums and universities and all the trained guides, all teaching the earth is millions of years old. Average child is dazzled the same way by the huge dinosaurs and all the long, hard names, Apatosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Cetosaurus, Mamenchosaurus, whoa, Triceratops. Most kids learn that by the time they're 4, but also they're taught they lived millions of years ago. All those science teachers with accredited degrees from Egyptian universities must be right. They're all teaching us dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. It's got to be true. Doesn't it, Mommy? No, son. Moses told all the Egyptians, guys, you've been fooled your whole life. None of it's true. None of those gods are gods. And none of those dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. Little bacteria, real tiny bacteria, have little bitty hairs on their body that spin to make them swim. Their little tiny brain is controlling all these little hairs, making them spin. They're attached to a motor. That little tiny motor has a bushing, a rod, spins around. It's got bearings. A phenomenal motor this thing is that spins and turns this little hair around. That motor is so tiny, 8 million of them would fit on the cross-section of average human hair. Take one of your hairs, chop it off, 8 million motors fit on the stump. That's pretty tiny, okay? And they spin 100,000 RPM. You ever seen an engine turn 100,000 RPM? Huh? Get your car engine to do that. All right, okay. As things get smaller, the fluid they move through feels thicker to them. It's a viscosity problem. You can look that up. So a bacteria swimming through water is like a person swimming through peanut butter at 60 miles an hour. Let's say you do that, okay? We had a bacteria motor display. We have one in our museum here, Science Center, if you want to come see it. Let's see. Humans probably evolved from bacteria that lived more than 4 billion years ago. Well, then sign them up for the Olympics. They can swim 60 miles an hour through peanut butter. That's a powerful motor. I'd say real powerful motor. And it's this big. And it all happened by chance. Nobody made it. It's one of the lies in the textbooks on video number 4. That flagella spins several hundred to 1,000 revolutions per second. That little motor attached to the flagellum, the little hair, spins around. And you atheists really want me to believe it happened by chance. They've done a lot of study on this thing. Get down, the more they zoom in on it, the more they say, wow, this thing's pretty complicated. Yeah. So where is the E. coli brain to keep all track of all these little motors so they can move around and respond to their stimuli? They're living in their little world. They got to smell something over here they want. They got to tell which motor to turn on to turn that way. Come on now. You think it evolved? 8 million motors fit on a period on a page. Well, I think you guys are dreaming if you think that happened by chance, the bacteria motor. Come on down and see it. I'm 6 foot 1.75, almost 6 foot 2. Didn't quite make it. Okay? That's like me swimming 62 miles an hour through peanut butter. And they're not swimming through the air. E. coli is swimming, not running, through the air. Okay? It's swimming through peanut butter. We look at the stars and say, wow, look at all those galaxies. Yeah. O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, who set thy glory above the heavens. When I consider thy heavens, you should come to Dinosaur Adventure Land on a cloud-free night, go up on top of our sand dune, lay on the deck we built up there, and watch the stars. You should say, wow, when I consider thy heavens, what is man that thou art mindful of him? It'll make you feel real small. Problem is, some of you went to an Egyptian school and your high priest tricked you with big words into believing all those stars fit in a dot smaller than a proton, didn't he? Didn't they trick you? Yeah. That came from nowhere for no reason and exploded. Rapidly expanded. Don't you believe it, kids? God made the world. So, Exodus chapter 9. The Lord said to Moses, go in unto Pharaoh and tell him, thus saith the Lord God of Hebrews. Here we go again. Same message every time. Let my people go that they may serve me. Pharaoh, is anything complicated about that message? Do you think you understand it? Need to translate it to Egyptian for you? If thou refuse to let them go and will hold them still, let them go. If you refuse, behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle in the field. The cows, oh yeah, they worship the cows. Remember, God's doing each of these plagues on their gods. They worship a cow. Can you believe that? We got some here, brother. They are dumb. I'm talking real dumb. Okay. Upon the horses, upon the asses, the camels, the oxen, the sheep, there shall be a very grievous murrain. The Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. There shall nothing die of all that is the children of Israel's. Murrain. Let's see. Antiquated term. Old, they don't use it much anymore. For various infectious diseases affecting cattle and sheep. Originates from the Middle English moraine derived as to die. The word moraine, much like the word pestilence, did not refer, you can go on to read it for yourself, but it's a bad thing for cows to get moraine. And the Lord appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land. Pharaoh, you like tomorrow? You want to wait for your frogs to leave till tomorrow? Okay. Tomorrow your cows are going to die. And the Lord did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. But the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. The Lord always does what he says he's going to do. He said he's going to save you if you'll ask him. Praise God. I'm going to heaven. I don't deserve it. We're going. He promised. God versus Hathor. Moses stood before Pharaoh and declares if he does not let the people go, all the animals in the field would die. You'll see that later. Horses, donkeys, camels, sheep, goats. These animals helped in their everyday, their food, transportation, even their sacrifices before their gods. But there was one animal that stood out for the Egyptians, and that was the cow. They saw the cow as sacred and manifestation of the goddess Hathor. Whoa. Hathor was a mother goddess in form of a cow who represented love, protection, fertility. A lot of drawings, carvings of ancient Egyptian temples show pharaohs making offerings to these gods. Oh, yeah, let's go make an offering to the cow. There it is. Here, cow god. Egyptian goddess Hathor and Pharaoh Ramses. Okay, there's the cow god. Utterly dumb. Let's see. Symbols of Hathor. Hathor, the Egyptian goddess of the sky, is associated with fertility, women, love, and the sun. Here are her most common symbols, symbolized as the cow. These animals are symbols of nourishment, motherhood, and traits associated with Hathor. Hathor is depicted as a divine cow. How about this one? This type of necklace made of several beads was seen in a personification of Hathor. Oh, so when the cow god becomes a person, it's got beads on it. I see. Okay. Let's see. Cobras represent the dangerous side of Hathor. When Ra sent out his eye against humankind, she assumed the form of a cobra. Okay. There's the cow god with somebody getting a drink. Hop off at the fridge. Get a drink, son. Okay. Here's the temple of Hathor, 2,000 years old. They spent a huge amount of money to build these temples to worship a cow. Depictions of Hathor, Egyptian goddess of the sky, fertility, love, and women. Okay. Hathor, Egyptian goddess of love. Would you wear a cow horns on your head? Oh, honey, you look stupid. Okay. There it is, the cow god with horns and everything. The fifth plague, the death of livestock, was a judgment on the goddess Hathor and the god Apis, who were both depicted as cattle. Boy, the poor kids in kindergarten got to learn the names of all 2,000 of these things, who were depicted as cattle. As with the previous plague, God protected his people from the plague. While the cattle of the Egyptians died, God was steadily destroying the economy of Egypt. One by one, he's picking off their gods and he's picking off their economy. Everything's starting to fall apart, while showing his ability to protect and provide for those who obeyed him. Pharaoh sent investigators, we'll see that in verse 7, to find out if the Israelites were suffering along with the Egyptians. But the result was a hardening of his heart against the Israelites. He didn't get it. Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. The heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, take you 2 handfuls of ashes of the furnace. Okay, now hold it. I'm going to get ashes out of the furnace. Yes, Moses, pick up 2 handfuls of ashes, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. Make sure Pharaoh sees this. Okay, Lord. Sometimes God asks you to do things that just really don't make a whole lot of sense at first. And you figure out later, wow, you were right, God. It shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt. And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast. The 6th plague, boils, was a judgment against several gods. They had gods they worshiped that kept them healthy. The god of Sekhmet, Sunu, and Isis. This time the Bible says the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. Clearly, these religious leaders were powerless against the God of Israel. Do you think they're getting the message? Our gods aren't really gods. We've learned a whole bunch of stuff, hard names, and it's all wrong. Maybe some of the atheists are finally getting the message. All your stuff about millions of years ago on the geologic column and Cenozoic, Mesozoic, Paleozoic, Archaeozoic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, it's all baloney. It doesn't exist, guys. All the layers are the same age. All of them. There's no such thing as a geologic column. There's no such thing as a god Hathor. I'm sorry. You learned a bunch of stuff for nothing. You got brainwashed. Okay? Shemek, the Egyptian goddess of war, medicine, and healing. She's the daughter of the sun god Ra. and is associated with the eye of Ra. Oh, yeah, that one eye on Ra is kind of going funny, okay? Shemek is said to breathe fire and cause plagues, although she's also called off to ward off disease and heal the sick. She was patron deity of the physicians and healers and was worshipped mostly in Memphis. A myth about the end of Ra's rule on earth, Ra sends goddess Hathor in the form of Shemek to destroy mortals who conspired against him. It's depicted as the head of a lion in a red dress. Oh, lions look good in red dresses, don't they? Yeah, there we go. There's the lion head, Shemek. Okay, there's the Egyptian god. Now we got to study this one too, Mom. Yes, boys and girls. Be sure you put your red dress on your lion if you're going to worship Shemek. Okay, Mom. Shu. Then we got Shu, the Egyptian god. In the Egyptian religion, god of the air and supporter of the sky. Whoa, got to hold the sky up. Created by Atum by his own power, without the aid of a woman. Shu and his sister and companion Tefnut, goddess of moisture, were the first couple of the group of 9 gods. Okay, boy, they're going to, let's see. 16 hours ago, somebody wrote, Shu was one of the primordial Egyptian gods, spouse and brother to the goddess Tefnut, and one of the 9 deities. Okay, here we go. God versus the gods of Egypt. They had another god by the name of Sunu. Sunu was a god who had a special kind of priesthood. They wore amulets around their arms and legs to ward off disease. See, if you wear a bracelet and a leg, what do they call it, anklet, you can't get sick. Everybody knows that. It was all useless. Everybody had oozing boils, a leprous kind of running sores all over their body. They believed in the god Serapis, who was the god of healing, and he was useless. He couldn't heal them. Might have heard of their famous god, Imhotep. Here's Isis, the goddess of motherhood and magic, the sister of the god Orius and his faithful lover, who has become an example of love and loyalty. Isis is always represented in the image of a woman holding the throne on her head. That's the throne up there. That's quite a hat, lady. And in her hand is the key of life. See that Ankh they carry with the circle and the cross? Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism there too, okay? Here. She's the mother of the god Horus, who gave birth to her by act of magic. Wait. She gave birth to Horus, who gave birth to her. That's what they believe. And you gotta believe this, or you can't be a good Egyptian. And you gotta believe everything fit in a dot and came from nothing, or you can't be a good scientist. Yeah. Let's see. Osiris conspired against his brother Set, the evil god, and I said, so she gave birth to Horus to avenge his father. Oh, brother, you got to learn all this in school. Isis is famous for her famous sentence and also from her titles. The owner of the throne, the goddess of secrets. She said, I am everything that has been and everything will be. And there is no van able to reveal my hijab. Claim to be everything. Boy. Now, the God of the Bible does too, only he really is. All these fake Egyptian gods, forget them. They're all baloney. The magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. Okay. And the boil was on the Egyptian magicians and the Egyptians. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had spoken. Pharaoh's not getting it, folks, okay? And the Lord said to Moses, rise up early in the morning, stand before Pharaoh, and say, thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, let my people go that they may serve me. The message hasn't changed, Pharaoh. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart, upon thy servants, and upon thy throne, upon thy people. Why? That thou mayest know that there's none like me in all the earth. God is trying to get your attention, Pharaoh. Now, some of you atheists, listen carefully. Where'd it go here? Oh, yeah, right here. The reason we do the Whack an Atheist every Wednesday night, we're trying to get your attention. Pay attention. Evolution is stupid. Real stupid. Didn't happen. You got fooled by all those high priests and all those fancy names. Yeah, sorry. We're trying to help. God was trying to help Pharaoh understand. Now, he knew Pharaoh had the personality that he was not going to listen, no matter what happened to him. And sure enough, he didn't get it. You'll see later on, he don't get it. Before God sent the last 3 plagues, Pharaoh was given a special message from God. That's the message in verse 14 there. I'm going to do some more plagues on you, Pharaoh, so that you can know that there's none like me in all the earth. Pharaoh was given a special message. These plagues would be more severe than the others, and they were designed to convince Pharaoh and all the people there was none like me in all the earth. Pharaoh was told he was placed in his position by God so he could show his power and declare his name. As an example of his grace, God warned Pharaoh to gather whatever cattle and crops remained from the previous plagues and shelter them from the coming storm. Some of Pharaoh's servants did it, some didn't. You know, the Jews, there are a lot of things like the Jews and what they believe and stuff like that, but at least they told the people in Gaza, look, we're giving you a chance, move out. Pharaoh was told, look, put your cows in the house because everything left out is going to die. Time to pay attention, Pharaoh. Listen up. God's giving you a warning. Pay attention, Pharaoh. God's talking. You're not going to get it, are you? For now, I will stretch out my hand that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. In the Bible, that always means you're going to be killed. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up. This is why I raised you up to be Pharaoh. I knew you were bullheaded. I knew you would react this way. I'm going to use you as an example. God didn't make him evil like that. He made himself evil, but God knew he would. See, people don't understand. God knowing the future and knowing everything does not mean he's controlling it. If I sit down and watch a football game, which I never do, I couldn't even name two teams. I think Dallas Cowboys still have one. I don't know. I don't care. Okay. But if I watch a football game and videotape it, record it, I say, Billy, come on over to the house. Let's watch this game. And I hit play and I play the game back for Billy. Billy hasn't seen it yet, but I have. I already know who's going to win. And when the guy goes back for the bomb to throw the pass, I already know if he's going to catch it or not. So it's me saying, hey, Billy, he's going to miss that one. Is that me making him miss it? No. I already know. God already knows how you're going to react. He knows if you're going to turn right, turn left, or stop. He knows. He's not controlling it. You have complete control of your life, and God has complete knowledge of what you'll do. Not a contradiction at all. God says, this is why I raised you up, Pharaoh. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wilt not let them go? Pharaoh, what are you doing? I've asked you about 8 times now. Let them go. Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail. Now, this is another one of the gods, believe it or not, such as hath not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now. Boy, it's coming in the book of Revelation, too. There's coming hailstones that weigh a talent. That's 100 pounds. Imagine a 100-pound hailstone falling. That would damage the shingles on your house, wouldn't it? Clear down to the basement. Send therefore now and gather thy cattle and all that thou hast in the field, for upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die. Pharaoh, I'm warning you, get your servants and your cows, and whatever you want to save, get it out of the field. He that feared the word of the Lord among the servants of Pharaoh, see, some of them are catching on. And some of you atheists, I do a lot of debates. I'm not winning any of you, I understand. But I'm winning some of your followers. They're thinking, wow, he's right. There's a God. Evolution's stupid, isn't it? Yeah, we're winning some of your followers. Okay. And made his servants and his cattle flee into the house. You want the cow in the house? Well, let them get killed out there. He that regarded not the word of the Lord left his servants and his cattle in the field. And the Lord said to Moses, stretch forth thy hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man, upon beast, upon every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt. The 7th plague, hail, attacked Nut. They worshipped a god named Nut, the sky goddess. Osiris, the crop fertility god, and Set, the storm god. This hail was unlike any that had been before. It was accompanied by fire which ran along the ground. And everything left out in the open was devastated. Children of Israel were miraculously protected. No hail damaged anything in their lands. Isis standing behind Osiris, the Egyptian god with the cow god with the horns on the head. Let's see. Osiris, the god of fertility, agriculture, and afterlife. So they've got a God to protect their agriculture, and here the hail just ruined it. Well, how come your God didn't stop it? Because your God's not a God at all. It's a statue you carved yourself. Duh. Veneration of ancient Egyptian religion. He was depicted as a green-skinned deity with a pharaoh's beard, partially mummy-wrapped at the legs. The legs were wrapped like a mummy because it also is the goddess of death. Okay. Osiris played a double role. He was both a god of fertility and the embodiment of the dead and resurrected king. Okay. Dual role was combined with the Egyptian concept of divine kingship. The king, when he died, became Osiris. He gets to be God. Nut, the goddess of heaven and the mother of Ra, one of the oldest and most important gods in ancient Egyptian religion, as it is among the ninth of the Heliopolis. There's different kinds of nuts. 53 different kinds of nuts in the world. There's another one right there. Nut is mother of Ra. Well, that produced a nut. He thinks he's related to a frog and came from a rock. Now there are 54 kinds of nuts, counting Aaron. He said, nobody believes we come from a rock. No evolutionist ever believed we came from a rock. Let's see, the earth started off as a hot ball of very hot liquid. Okay. Earth formed 4.54 billion years ago. Okay. That's what they teach. Okay. Earth was so hot from all the collisions that all the rock melted. And the earth was a hot ball of melted rock orbiting the sun. Aaron, that's from Berkeley University. You think those people are smart. Berkeley says we came from a rock. Okay. Billions of years ago, Earth started as a hot, viscous ball of rock. National Pornographic. I mean, who should I quote? Who would you listen to, Aaron? All you atheists, who would you listen to? Okay. Heaviest metal, mostly iron and nickel, went to the center. Water trapped inside caused a gas to come out and formed oceans. 3.9 billion years ago, Earth cooled enough for water vapor to condense, and it started to rain. Oh boy, it rained and rained. In these oceans, 3.5 billion years ago, scientists believe first living organisms appeared. So, Aaron, let me explain it to you. Earth was a hot ball of rock. As it cooled down, now it could rain, rained on the rocks and formed oceans, and in the oceans, the first life appeared. You believe you came from a rock. Just be proud of it. Quit trying to say it didn't. You don't believe it. Admit it and be proud. If that's your God, be proud of your God. A few 100 million years later, the Earth's temperature was cooling down. Let's see. Swirling in the waters of the oceans is a bubbling broth of complex chemicals. Progress from a complex chemical soup to a living organism is very slow. Here we go. 3.5 billion years ago, scientists believe the first living organisms appeared. That was in the soup, which came from the rocks getting rained on. Yes, you believe you came from a rock. Talk about a nut. Yale University. Confessions of a former fireball, how Earth became habitable. Whoa. So the Earth is going to confess. That ought to be good. Early Earth transformed itself. Whoa. That Earth, it was smart. Man, let's see. Researchers at Yale and Caltech, would you respect them? Have a bold new theory, how Earth transformed itself from a fiery, carbon-clouded ball of rocks into a planet capable of sustaining life. All you atheists, look at me. You do believe you came from a rock. Yeah, you do. Let's see. Weird rocks made the Earth. You can read the article for yourself. All these weird rocks in early Earth would react with seawater and generate a large flux of hydrogen. That's essential for the creation of biomolecules. Got to have it. Yeah, it's essential. Got to have it. Okay. The Lost City hydrothermal field, prime location for investigating the origin of life on Earth. See, life originated in the soup, which came from the rocks getting rained on. Come on now. That's what you believe. Just admit it. Be proud of it. And quit driving on the highway, for heaven's sake. It's made out of your ancestors. What's wrong with you guys? Okay. Our own Earth was getting hit by rocks that were falling toward it. It kept getting bigger and hotter until it was a giant ball of melted rock. There it is again. Over many millions of years, it cooled down. Yep. Gradually. See, that's the whole secret. Time. Slowly. Long time. Plants started to grow and bugs started to live on Earth. It just happened. Believe the story, boys and girls. How was Earth formed? Let's see. At first, Earth was a ball of molten rock. Surface rock slowly began to cool. I'm just showing what you believe, guys. I know I'm making fun of the Egyptian gods too, okay? So you're both on the same plane, right? How did our planet form? Well, just a bit of dust and gas and dust. Okay. It all started with a big bang. Nothing exploded. You can read all this for yourself. Hit pause, okay? Planet cooled down. Oceans formed 3.8 billion years ago. We came from the hot soup. Yep, hot soup was the origin of life. Primordial soup. There it is, folks. Great. Could be a whole bunch of great grandpa right there, and grandma, okay? Prebiotic soup. Yep, there it is. What's a soup made out of? Oh, well, the minerals from the rocks. It got rained on the rocks, yeah. Somehow it sparked into life, primordial soup. Life began in a pond or ocean. And where'd that come from? It rained on the rocks. Yeah. First self-replicating systems must have emerged in this organic soup. Here we are, had to. What's the other choice? God made it? Oh, no, it can't be true, can it? Okay. So there's your theory. Okay, Campbell's soup, there's Grandpa. Nut, the sister of the god Jab, the god of the earth, and their father is the god Sho, the god of the air, while their mother is the goddess Tefnut. Are you keeping all this straight? Does anybody have it all straight in their head? Imagine these poor 5-year-old Egyptian kids in kindergarten. Mommy, you wouldn't believe the homework assignment I got for tonight. I got to memorize all the names of these gods and who's the daddy of who. And Mommy, I don't understand none of this, okay? The god of humidity and rain. Oh, no. Moses is attacking that one with giant hailstorms. Nut is embodied in the form of a star-studded woman, covering the world with her body from east to west, dubbed by the ancient Egyptians with many titles. She was the covering of the heavens, which carry 1,000 souls. They protect the dead. They were considered the gods of the dead. They were drawn in drawings of them inside the coffins. So as you die and you're laying there dead, they close the lid. You can look up and see the nut and say, wow, I'm going to be fine. Nut's protecting me. I'm not making this up, folks. This is Egyptian history, okay? And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail, and fire ran along the ground. And the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt, so that there was hail and fire mingled with hail, very grievous, such as was nothing like it in the land of Egypt since it became a nation. The hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast, and the hail smote every herb of the field and brake every tree. So now the Egyptians have, let's see, no water to drink for a while. Nile turned to blood. Now they got no crops left, no cows left. Their whole economy is pretty well shot. Pretty well shot. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail. God will protect his own. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said, I have sinned. The Lord is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Boy, it looks like he's getting it. He's not getting it. He's pretending. Some people pretend to get saved and go to church and get baptized, and it's all fraud. And some of you know your whole Christianity is a fraud, don't you? You know that. You're pretending the whole time. Entreat the Lord for me. Moses, would you please beg the Lord? It's enough that there be no more mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go. And ye shall stay no longer. It sure sounds like he's had enough. Moses said to him, as soon as I'm gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands unto the Lord, and the thunder shall cease. Neither shall there be any more hail, that thou mayest know how the earth is the Lord's. Pharaoh, this earth belongs to God, not Nut, not Seti, not Ra, not none of your stupid gods which don't even exist. Why would you change your name to be a non-existent God? But as for thee and thy servants, I know that you will not yet fear the Lord. I know. You don't really mean it. And the flax and the barley were smitten, and the barley was in the ear, and the flax was bold, but the wheat and the rye were not smitten, they were not grown up. Out of the city and from Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands unto the Lord, and the thunders and hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. But when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. The heart of Pharaoh was hardened, neither would he let the children of Israel go, as the Lord had spoken by Moses. So Moses, let me get this straight. You think your single God is better, more powerful, and smarter than all 2,000 of our gods, and many scientists and priests, many thousands of priests, who spent their entire life studying all the science about the things in nature that these gods control. Moses, I got 2,000 gods. I got all these priests that study it all. They studied it for years from an accredited university. Huh? And you think your little God is better than all 2,000 of my gods? Moses, you've been a shepherd for 40 years. Now you come in here with your brother and your stick to teach me all my gods don't exist. All my priests with degrees from real accredited universities are wrong. Moses, take your magic stick and get out of my palace. Atheist, I know just the name, Kent Hovind, strikes fear in your heart because of my non-accredited degrees and my just simple common sense that fourth graders can understand. None of your time gods can solve your problem. There is no geologic column. There is no fossil record. You've been taught a whole bunch of stuff. It's meaningless. You learn the names of all the gods. Now forget it. They're all junk. You learn the names of all the layers of the geologic column and when they were. Yeah, you learned about the Cretaceous and Jurassic and Triassic. Yep. You can forget it all. Does not exist. You're a nut if you follow that stuff. Anyway, okay, comments or questions, and let's go.
Yes,
Let me guess, crybaby?
yes, sir.
Crybaby. Why does the fossil record, first, crybaby, there is no fossil record. There's a bunch of fossils. Stop and think now. There's billions, probably trillions of fossils in the ground. You want to count the microscopic ones, like, some of the mix of some of the layers of limestone and stuff like, then there's probably quadrillions, okay? There's not a record. None of them talk. None of them have a date stamped on them. Stop using those two words together, fossil record. There is no fossil record. There are fossils by the bazillions, lots of them. There is no record. You've been brainwashed. I bet you believe it. You probably believe in Nut and Osiris and Ra and all them too, don't you? Let's see. I'm sorry, rest of the question. Why does the non-existent fossil record show unambiguously a change in biodiversity? It doesn't, crybaby. People are interpreting the fossils they find based on what they already believe in their head. They already believe in the geologic column, and they already believe this layer's got to have these fossils, etc. They're scrambled up all over the world. There is no geologic column. There is no record. If there's any sorting at all, it's much better explained by a flood in the days of Noah. Esther? Can't read it. Okay. I'd love it if you come back to Hamlin Assembly of God Church in Hamlin, Pennsylvania. You came to speak at my church when Pastor White was the pastor. I enjoyed your message. People need to hear this. You're amazing, exposing the lies of Lucifer. Keep it up. Okay, I would be thrilled to come to any church, any university. I'd much rather do it sitting right here. Do it by Skype. We can do it with a computer now. Contact 855 BIG-DINO extension 4. Say, Joseph, I want to have Brother Hovind on my program at my church. I'll do radio programs. If you know anybody with a YouTube channel would like to have me on as a guest, please call. I want to do 50 of them a day from here. I live 87 feet away from the church. I can walk. I like this a lot better than driving to the airport, getting on the airplane. I had 4.7 million miles on just Delta. I flew a lot. I'm ready to stay home for the rest of my life and I'll preach from here. I don't mind preaching 10 times a day, but I'd rather not travel all over, okay? Tell you what, you bring your church down here. Bring them all. Pennsylvania to here is only on the map. It's only about that far. Okay. All right. Any more, brother?
Yes, two more.
Okay. Genesis Baptist Church. Shalom, brother. Does the Bible not say the stars will fall down on earth? Perhaps stars like Betelgeuse, etc. Will earth be left after such a knockout? I don't know. Of course, they could fall down in pieces, but the stars are awful big compared to the earth. Yeah, good point. Don't have a question. Don't have an answer to that one. God said it'll happen. So, Archangel. Genesis question for Kent. Why do you keep changing the topic when answering the lawyer's questions and even most important questions in general?
He's talking about the debate.
The debate?
Yeah, with the lawyer the other day.
Well, like guy said, why do you always answer a question with a question? He said, well, why not? Can you be a little specific, Archangel? What did I not answer? He was trying to trap me with his questions just so he could get on the record that I said I agreed with something. It was obvious what he was doing, the lawyer trick, okay? Attorney means to twist, okay? From the Latin word, to twist. He was getting good. I could see what he was doing. He's trying to twist my words and say, well, you said back in the agreement we had on October 15th or something that you said this, and I'm going to use that as the protocol. It was just obvious what he was doing. That whole buildup for 2 hours was to tell me that cancer is evidence of evolution? Did you fall for that? I bet you believe in the God nut too, don't you? Mm-hmm. Did the fallen angels from 6 bring down the technology to create the pyramids? That's a tough question, Michael. God made Adam. Let me get my chart up here, brother. Adam came. He was created fully formed, full grown, with a fully loaded computer. No telling what Adam knew. Plus, he lived for 900 years. He probably walked and talked with God for 100 years before he sinned. Adam probably was unbelievably smart, and he lived long enough to pass that information on to his great grandson. Almost got to know Noah. So the knowledge they had pre-flood was probably off the charts compared to what we have today. Maybe they knew how to cut and lift giant stones with music or sound. I don't know. Could it be that there's something totally new technology we never even thought of? How many things have been invented in the last 200 years that they didn't think of for 6,000 years? A whole bunch. Who would have thought of electricity to make the room light up? Man, you got to have a piece of wood burning, don't you? Oh, no, we can do it with electricity. Huh? They would have thought this is crazy 200 years ago. Yeah. So I don't know how much they knew, and I don't know how much Noah and his sons carried through the flood and started the civilization over again. I think a whole lot of stuff has been lost by somebody died who knew that. So we'll see. Don't know. Can't answer that question easily.
This is kind of the same thing.
What's your take on the pyramids? My son called you. Thank you. God bless. I suspect the Great Pyramid, only the big one, was built before the flood. I don't have any proof of that. Just my theory, okay? When they found all the others are copies. The pharaohs would say, wow, I want to be buried in one of those. All you slaves get busy for the next 40 years and build me one. So I think the smaller pyramids are copies of the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid has some amazing features. Let me just show you just a couple of them real quick here. This is on video number 7, seminar part 7, question answer, my creation seminar series, if you want to get that. Or you got it right there, question answer, $10. Okay. It's trying to open. This is a big one. It's nearly 3,000 slides. And you can get all my slides on thumb drive. What is it, for $100? And there's like 50,000 of them. 45 or 50,000. If you want all my research, there you go, thumb drive. Get it for $100, and you can take over my job when I die, please. I need a bunch of you to do that. Okay, here we go. Alt-DV. Okay, where's the Great Pyramid? Is it on this one? How about this one? The Ark of the Covenant. The Great Pyramid, is it on that one?
Pyramid 2.
Pyramid, there it is. Okay, good. What about the Great Pyramid? Okay, there are 4 theories about the Great Pyramid. It was built by godly people before the flood and was a testimony to the Lord. Maybe there's some the year of Jubilee. You walk in the door, you got a choice to make. You can take the broad way to the pit or the narrow way to the king's chamber. Oh, the broad way, the narrow way. 144,000 casing stones on the side. 144,000, that number's in the Bible. The chief cornerstone was never installed. It was rejected by the builders. It could be that it was built to be a testimony to the Lord, the Bible in stone, so to speak. Option 2 is built by a bunch of heathen before the flood came. Option 3, it was built by godly people after the flood, or built by heathen after the flood. There's only 4 I can think of. I doubt it was built during the flood, okay? So it's probably one of those 4, okay? Now, the Great Pyramid that's the only one we're talking about. The others are obviously built by Egyptians, okay? In that day, there shall be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof. It shall be a sign for a witness unto the Lord of hosts, Isaiah 19. See, the Great Pyramid is really amazing when you get into the study. There's a lot of people who make that their whole ministry. Some of you could do that. I got a whole ministry on dinosaurs and creation. Well, you go do one on the pyramid or something. You walk in the chamber, right away you got to make a decision. You're going to go the broad way to the pit or the narrow way to the king's chamber. It's the largest building in the world by far. Contains enough stone to build a 10-foot high brick wall all the way around Texas. If you ever driven across Texas, takes 3 days. Are we still in Texas? Yeah. Hurry, Daddy. Some of the stones weigh 70 tons. The top is 455 feet tall. On the 50th row of stones, the year of Jubilee, is the empty tomb. All the rest of the pyramids are loaded with Egyptian hieroglyphics and all their gods, and this is King George, the greatest guy that ever lived, and all that stuff. Not this one. No inscriptions. Covered 144,000 stones, fitly joined together. The seams could not even be found in some of them. So I don't think the flood would do anything to this pyramid except get it wet and then it would dry out after the flood. So one theory is it survived the flood, just big stone building got wet. 144,000, Revelation chapter 7. Whole body fitly joined together. Okay, the stone that the builders rejected, the chief cornerstone, was never put in place. You can read these verses for yourself. The stone the builders rejected become the head of the corner. I saw the stone cut out without hands, smote the image on the feet. Saw the New Jerusalem coming down from God out of heaven. Okay, you can read all this for yourself. Revelation 21. Great city, holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven. Okay, there's a good book by Noah Hutchings, who I think died here recently, about the Great Pyramid. He said it was built to be a testimony to the Lord, the Bible, and stone. Now, the New World Order folks with the Masonic Lodge and their secret handshakes and all this stuff and their signs and, ways they hold their hands in their arm and all that, they got all these secret codes and stuff they pass along. A whole bunch of them in Congress, by the way. They have decided on the back of our dollar bill to put the pyramid. But the all-seeing eye, left eye, by the way, there's a lot of symbolism there. Annuit coeptus norvis odo seclorum. In Latin, that means announcing the birth of the New World Order. Yeah. Here they got 13 rows of stones. And the top stone is not connected to the pyramid yet. They have not yet fully finished their New World Order. Anyway, you can study the pyramid the rest of your life. Okay, a couple more questions here and we'll quit. So my take on it is, I think it was probably built before the flood to be a testimony to the Lord, and Satan has been using it as something for his kingdom. But he's going to be disappointed pretty quick here. Okay, your science is good, but your religion not so much. KJV, not inspired, needs to be translated. Okay, why KJV? Look at that, I just happened to be right there. Had to move my finger about a quarter inch, brother. Okay, oh yeah, get that. The serpent said to the woman, yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. The first thing the devil did was try to cast doubt on God's words. God promised in Psalm chapter 12, the words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord. Thou shalt preserve them from this generation. Well, who's the them? The words. He promised to preserve his words. Okay? Well, let's see. NIV, the non-inspired version. The words of the Lord are flawless, like silver purified in a furnace of clay, purified 7 times. O Lord, you will keep us safe and protect us from such people forever. What? He promised to preserve his words. See, it doesn't do any good for God to write the book, inspire men what to say, and then not preserve it for all of history. He promised he would. I believe that he did. I think I'm holding a copy of it. The King James Bible, I think, is where God preserved his word for the English-speaking people. If you watch my video 7 again, which you can get in the whole seminar series, $50 for the whole thing, I spend 20 or 30 minutes just on why King James Bible, the history behind it, from Alexandria. All these other Bible versions are coming from the Alexandrian manuscript. Bible's got nothing good to say about Alexandria, Egypt. They're a bunch of the pagan, stupid God worshipers, okay? They disputed with Stephen. That's the first time Alexandria is mentioned. So, Alexandrian cult rose in about 240 AD. They made their own version of the Bible. Origen was the chief guy involved in that. They left out stuff they didn't like. Left out 200 verses and 6,000 parts of verses. Then the Douay transfer, the Catholic Bible is a good translation of the wrong book. They're translating the Alexandrian manuscript. Almost all these new Bible versions are from that Alexandrian manuscript. They say, well, it's older, therefore it's better. Older doesn't mean better. Older might mean the Christians looked at it and said, that's fake, don't wear it out. My Bibles get worn out because I use them. A book that never gets used does not get worn out. Okay. Let's see. Westcott and Hort made their Bible from the Alexandrian manuscript, and they translated it to English, including the Revised Version, the American Standard, the Revised Standard, the New World Translation, Jehovah's Witness. Almost all the new Bibles are good translations of the wrong book. They're translating the Alexandrian. Westcott and Hort follow that controversy. Here's Acts 8. Tell you what, Who gave that question? JMT. This is the NIV, JMT. Would you read verse 37 to me, please? A little louder, please. Where's verse 37? You know why they left that one out? This is from the Alexandrian, by the way. Here's Jehovah's American Standard. Verse 37 is gone. Look at that. See footnote. Huh? Late manuscripts insert verse 37. No. The original had it in there. They took it out in the Alexandrian, and everybody copied it, okay? Verse 37, Jehovah's Witness Bible, they just drew a line. What don't they like about verse 37? Well, they're coming along the road, and they came to some water, and the guy said, hey, can I get baptized? Verse 37, Philip said, if thou believest with all thine heart, thou mayest. He answered and said, I believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. So he baptized him. See, most other churches want to say, you don't have to get baptized. Baptism is only for believers, by the way. They want to baptize babies in the Catholic Church, so they don't like verse 37 because it says you got to believe. Well, take out the verse then, throw it away. You better study this topic. The history of the Bible, Sam Gipp, great booklet. We sell, how many things do we have in our bookstore about King James? Quite a few. Go to Dr.Dino.com and look at all the stuff we have on the King James. I'm sorry, JMT, you are wrong. I am right. Again, but I'm getting good at it, used to it, okay? My religion is all right, but my Bible is absolutely perfect. And I'm trying hard to make my religion fit what that book says. And you better get a King James. Older does not mean better. Older means it got used a lot, that's all. Worn out. King James is translated from the Textus Receptus. Over 5,000 of these exist, and when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, now the Dead Sea Scrolls are older than the Alexandrian. And they match the King James. Well, I'll tell you what, go to avpublications.com, right there. There's their phone number. They got a ton of great books on this topic, okay? That one, we sell that one, right? New Age Bible versions? How much is that? Any idea? $33. It's up on screen. Oh, look at that. You're fast, man. Okay. Let's see. Things that are different are not the same. Mickey Carter. So anyway, we'll watch video 7 for more on that. Okay, next question. But thank you. My science is good, and my Bible, my religion's fine too, okay? Let's see. Joe, I danced to the fossil record because I have algorithm. I like that one. I'm going to use that one. That's good. You would be proud of me, Kent. I've been trying to convert atheists on Facebook. They really hate me right now. Their blood is not on my hand. That's all you can do. Luke, Lake, I tried. I tried to warn you. You didn't listen. Hey, bridge out. You ever seen people stand by that can opener bridge and try to warn people, don't drive your truck under that 11-foot, 8-inch bridge? It peels the top off. Just Google can opener bridge. Have you seen that, brother? Oh, yeah. Drive their motorhomes right under there, tear the roof off. Oh, how come nobody warned me? There's flashing lights, there's signs, man. Okay, the low bridge, okay? Clarence is 13 or 11 foot 8. Oh, Boudreaux sitting and Thibodeau sitting at the bayou. This guy across the bayou is just glaring at him. Boudreaux said, what you looking at? He said, I'm looking at you. You're a wimp. Boudreaux says, nobody calls me a wimp. He said, I just did. You're a wimp. Boudreaux says, now hold on just a minute. I'm going to come over there and whoop you right now. What's your name? He said, my name is Clarence. Come on, bring it on, Boudreaux. Boudreaux says, Thibodeau, hold my beer. I'll be right back. He hops on the four-wheeler, heads down to the bridge, turns around, comes back home. Thibodeau said, what happened? I thought you was going over there to whip Clarence. He said, no, I changed my mind. He said, well, why? He said, Thibodeau, when I got to that bridge, there's a big sign that says Clarence, 14 foot 2 inches. I ain't going to mess with him. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.